Welcome back. You're listening to Home Wizards. We'd love to help improve your home and improve your life. Right, Eric Stromer?
Yeah, well, duh.
Hello.
I'm
Cindy
yeah.
Dole.
I'm Eric Stromer,
It's the new year still. And,
2012. I never thought I'd be here.
I've got to get my darn calendar. When we leave the show today, I'm getting my 2012 calendar, but I still have lists, and we have so many to-dos around the house. So let's talk about things that are great for the new year throughout the house.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what would you think would be really nice in terms of an update in January?
Well, January is a great month to buy things. And
every month is a good month to buy things.
Exactly.
Not that I'm a shopaholic.
And think about this idea of you spend all the money at the Christmas on the Christmas season, and then like the day after, it's like 50% off.
I just want to say something.
Makes me crazy.
You didn't get me a Christmas present. I didn't get you a Christmas present either. But I'm thinking that there's a reason to do some shopping right now.
You know what we're going to do? We're going to go buy each other gifts. Let's do this.
Okay. We'll get some tools, and we need to have some pruning shears.
We don't need to demonstrate our love for one another by commercial means. No, it's just simply there.
It's the thought that counts.
That's right.
All right, so this is a good time because the magazines, we've collected all of our pieces of inspiration.
We may have been spending all of 2011 saying, you know what, doggone it, we need a new couch, we need chairs, we got to pump up the way our house looks on the inside.
We don't want coulda, shoulda, woulda.
No, we want to do this thing. And most of the stores now are offering up to 60% discounts.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
In terms of spring inventory.
Bloomingdale's?
Yes. Furniture,
especially.
Speaking
of tours, we're talking about stores. It's Anthropology.
That's what I was trying to refer to.
Well,
When I spoke of your house, it was not Nordstrom's. No, it was Anthropology.
Okay.
It gives the amalgamation of all these different styles converging into one and making it work.
That's what they say is
that's
eclectic, I guess.
Yeah.
Well,
by the way, I've used the word amalgamation twice in this.
Good.
That's the third time.
That's great.
It's like a virus. I'm not going to use it again until the next show.
That's great. Another good idea for January, we were just talking about fireplaces and the fire glass that we have got going on. Why not do one of these surrounds? I love the idea of the tin tile. Have you ever worked with tin? I
actually just used tin on. I'm doing the new TV show on A&E. Right.
Name dropper.
Sorry.
What's the show called?
I'm not going to tell you.
You are too?
Because it's not. I don't have a name yet.
Oh, you are too. I'm going to say it. I know that. Hey, everybody. The show is called
Hey now, surprise! No, but thank you.
Okay. Then.
We actually don't try and adjust your radio. It's just Cindy stopping saying things. No, but we actually use this tin tile as a backsplash for this
show?
kitchen. Yeah, and
I love that.
And the reason it works great is because it's inexpensive.
Do you hammer into the tin to create the?
You can either hammer it in or you can glue it with construction
But
adhesive.
I mean, to create the movement in the tin. I mean,
oh no, they come in prefab sheets.
Oh, I was thinking
you
were making the movement in the tin.
No, I do many things, but I don't.
You've got movements, but you're not doing that kind of movement. Is what you're saying.
But it
looks. Shake it.
It looks great, and you can either put it over framing or you can put it over drywall that exists
so it's
already.
A backsplash.
You could even put it over old tile, and if you used adhesive, you'd never know the difference.
So around a fireplace, if we were to adhere this tin
to the
tile
existing
let's say to a brick, let's say maybe you had I don't know.
You could put it right on the brick.
Put on the brick?
Yes. You could glue it with construction adhesive, and it'll completely transform the way it looks.
Let's turn the page to February.
Yeah.
We're always in need of more space, especially if we're trying to conduct a home office kind of a situation. And we don't have space for an office.
No.
Why not do it in a closet?
Do you know how many times I did this on the show Clean Sweep? Because
you turn a closet into an
because
office.
People don't have space in these smaller homes. All of a sudden, all you have to do is open these doors up. You put a desk height shelf in, and then above that some storage, another shelf, and then above that a third shelf for books and computer program stuff. And then what do? You walk away, shut the doors, and your office is now organized and disappeared.
You've got to take out that existing rod, which is no big deal, because then you can use it somewhere else. And I love the idea, too, of
hang on. Let me just tell you how to do this so people understand.
Sure, go ahead.
So, you take a traditional desk height, you put a ledger, which means a piece of wood around the perimeter of the three walls in the closet at desk height. And then on top of that, you put a piece of 3/4-inch plywood so it rests on the back and the sides. And then in the front, you cut like a 2-inch strip that goes from the left side of the closet to the right side of the closet. And you nail that into the face of that piece of plywood, and that'll give you the rigidity in the front of the desk. So now you have a countertop that you could literally stand on. That's how strong it is.
And if we wanted to keep things out of sight, out of mind, because let's say that this closet is right there by the front door and traffic's coming in, and you don't want everyone to see all your stuff.
No. No.
You could either use a curtain, right? Or you would what kind of a door would you use to
You could use
conceal?
you could use bifold doors, but listen, I got to tell you, I'm a big fan of using a curtain because it gives you a whole nother dimension in terms of the look.
You got some color going on. You got some pattern.
If it's a small room, the door opens up and cuts into the room when it's open. So sometimes it's almost untenable to have a door in that situation.
And make sure that you have plenty of drawer space. And I always love the idea of the magnetic or the dry erase board, or even use the magnet paint or the clay paint, right?
That's exactly right. Yeah.
The crayon paint.
Why not?
How about, as we move to March, speaking of paint, have you ever used spray paint to cover up something like a toaster?
You know, I've used spray paint to repaint a refrigerator.
Really?
Yeah, and
I guess
here's
you could
the deal.
Do that. Like what color did you do?
Well, I made it like it was a vibrant, almost magenta.
No, you did not.
I had a crazy apartment for a while when I got out of college. It was kind of cool.
You painted your refrigerator
I
magenta?
painted everything. I had all sorts of crazy stuff going on. It was a magenta fridge, and then I hung an old car door on the wall for art with cabling.
Cool.
It was really cool.
I like the idea of a car door as art.
So basically, to your point, with the spray painting, whenever you do things like you could do a toaster, obviously, and kind of repurpose it, but you have to use the heat test paint that's generally used in automotive applications.
Well, just like for our fireplace, we used special oven-tested spray paint. So there's different kinds of spray paint for different kinds of environments, right? To make it safe.
Yes, ma'am.
And for people, yes, sir.
Yeah, sorry. I'm so used to talking to the authorities when I'm pulled over. Yes, sir.
You're not getting a ticket. It's okay. So if we are using, let's say we're using the paint to be adhered to a metal or a plastic surface, and you want it to not be peeling off, that's something you want to think about, right?
I would urge every one of us, and myself included, please use primer. Use the primer first and then the paint.
And you can have spray primer.
Yes, you can.
Spray primer.
And spray primer will stick to glass and it'll never come off. So as long as you do that, stainless steel is not a problem. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. But it's a great idea. It's a great idea.
I have never spray painted a toaster, but I could see where that could be kind of a fun thing to do. You know, you could even use stencils. Why not? Make it just kind of your crazy statement piece.
You know, toast needs to be honored, and it can be honored with artistic values, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
Window washing, not exactly one of my sexiest to-dos, right? But why not make that on your list? Because I think that when you're looking at a really clean, sparkling window, it really feels like your home has a new facelift going on, right?
You know who taught me about the value of clean windows?
You mean the vodka?
No, well, that too. That took it to a whole nother level. No, my dad, the great Irv Stromer, was is still a huge window cleaning fanatic.
That's therapy to him.
We used to live on a first-floor apartment in Chicago, and every spring, my brother and I would hang out that window, and like literally, it was a huge fun thing for us.
Wait, you'd hang out the window?
Well, we would crawl along the window ledge.
Oh my gosh, they were a nervous wreck.
Well, they encouraged it because
did they keep like a rope around you, like a leash?
No, they don't care.
They don't care.
They were hoping one of us would fall.
Wait, you're on the second story.
It was the first. Well, it was the first floor. It was only one level up, but you know, it was fun for us.
Well, that
it was
wouldn't
a
hurt
good game.
too much.
No.
You can fall out a little bit.
No.
I used to jump from our garage roof to the grass.
I would pay money to see you do that.
Anyway, we digress.
Yes.
Back to the cleaning of the windows. So it was your dad who said, hey, there's a value of cleaning windows?
Yes, because after a winter in Chicago, you get a tremendous amount of buildup.
Dirt.
Yeah, the dirt on the
dirty
windows.
Snow.
Right. Now, what do you recommend to clean windows?
Vodka.
Duh. No, seriously, we did a test.
We did a test, and there's something about how of course, you could use, I don't know. I don't think that Windex and the window products are as good as some of the homespun remedies.
I like the white vinegar, I'll tell you.
The white vinegar, and there's something about the acidity of that, and also you have the acidity in the vodka, a cheap one, I hope. And
pop off, generally. No offense to the manufacturers.
Smirnoff.
Yeah.
And then that just kind of eats into the streaks. And
That's
so
correct.
Now, imagine what it's doing to your stomach, and it's clearing out the glass, and I'm also a fan of using paper towels or newspaper. Do you like newspaper?
I like the newspaper.
Yeah.
And also scratches, sometimes you can buff those out with toothpaste, believe it or not.
I was hoping you'd bring that up.
Yeah.
Do you use whitening toothpaste?
You have
for
to
your
use
windows?
the white
the special
stuff. You can't use the clear gel.
No, but I mean the whitening. So it's going to brighten and whiten.
See, that brings up a very interesting discussion. I'm not sure that. Yeah, I'm going to try that too.
All right. Well, also for March, we were talking with Lance Walheim a bit ago about the roses, and this is a great time by then hopefully you will have your roses not only all pruned, but now the buds are saying, hello, we're here. But why not do more things? Try some other additions to the garden, some other flowers, some other plants, maybe some nice container plants to really give yourself a sense of it's springtime and I'm enjoying my outdoor living, right?
Exactly.
So that's
and
a good one.
And the roses now, Lance kind of demystified this for us a little bit. I mean, it's just not as scary as I thought with the aggressive pruning.
Yeah, it's not. And once you just have some really great some pruning shears and you just kind of get out there and do it. I mean, it's all about so much in home improvement, having the attitude that you can do it.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go home today and I am going to prune these roses, and then
Good.
I'm going to talk about it next week on the air.
And you're going to transplant some of those roses, I hope,
I
right?
am.
Move
Yeah.
them to a better,
I'm going to
actually,
what I'm going to do is bring them to your house and swap mine out for yours. And you might not know. You may, I don't know.
You're one of those.
It'll be the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night,
Yeah.
exactly, dressed in all black with a mask.
That's right. In some states, that's called stalking.
It's okay. He's a garden rose thief. All right, when we come back, we're going to give you some more great tips of things you can do throughout the year to help you kind of get your groove on and feel like your home is looking all spiffed up, right?
That's
Why
it.
not?
That's what we do.
Eric Stromer, Cindy Dole, we're back after this on KFWB. This is Home Wizards, KFWB News Talk 90.
When we're standing at a distance, so we keep waiting on the world to change.
Welcome back. Hope you're having fun this Saturday as we love to help improve the spaces you call home. Home Wizards, I'm Cindy Dole.
I'm Eric Stroman.
And how are you feeling so far with this new year?
You know, so far 2012 is fantastic.
That's a good attitude.
My needs have all been met.
Done.
The kids are acting great.
Great.
Everyone loves everyone.
Perfect.
And I'm having a great time here
Although
with
you
you.
can't find your keys.
I have no idea where my keys are.
I'm having a great time with you. I couldn't find my keys.
Two
New
days
Year's.
in a row. You and I each lost, and then we invited our organizer
know.
friend, and I think we might have a new system.
We do. But I mean, it is. I love her idea, by the way. If your body isn't nourished, if you're overstressed or underfed or underwatered or whatever, you're more prone to not be organized.
That's correct. But I eat 6 times a day. So what
I'm
now?
trying to find excuses.
Yes, thank you.
All right. So let's talk about some more great, a year's worth of ideas for your home in 2012.
Yeah.
What about this idea of screening in the cabinet in the bathroom?
I like that. You know why I like it? Because it gives it a nice decorative feel. Sometimes you don't want to necessarily see clear glass and see the prescriptions and the cold medicines and all that stuff, but something that's more of a screen or kind
of radiator covers.
Almost, yeah. It gives you that feeling that it's
grills.
there's a design element to it. Is what I'm
Now,
trying
where
to
would
say.
you get those grills? Can you buy those pre-made, or you go?
No, they
No?
sell sheeting of that
They
all
do?
over the place. Yeah, you can find that kind of stuff.
Like
you know?
at regular big box stores, or do you have to go
No,
somewhere?
go online first and foremost to find something. You would type in something like, great screens or decorative hardware
grills.
grill screens.
Because that
kind of thing.
really is cool. I mean, in terms of having a cabinet door and then inserting that, how would you insert that in a
Well,
cabinet door?
what you would do, for example, in the image that I'm looking at now that has this, you would take an existing cabinet door and you could actually cut out the center of it if it was a recessed panel door, and then affix it to the back and literally just screw on the grid behind the door.
Really pretty.
Yeah, that would work out fine.
I think that'd be, and you could put your towels in there, your linens, and you just, there's a little bit of a peekaboo factor,
Sure.
but not too much.
And it gives you space and air, and it lets the room feel a little bit bigger, and you're not looking right into the medicine cabinets or your storage spaces, but it does
I'm not seeing your self-tanning lotion
don't want to see
right
that.
up front.
There's so much of it that it's difficult to not see it. Yeah.
All right. Well, also in March, I love this idea. You probably have a lot of leftover ceramic tile around the house.
Oh, do I ever? How do you know? What are you, some sort of a mind reader again?
We have a lot of little pieces of things.
I was a
especially-
tile guy for years. You know how much tile I have?
Do you have a lot?
A lot.
You should put it on eBay or something.
It's
Or
not.
maybe-
It's not
or-
enough of one kind to
it's-
actually justify.
You know what,
it.
though? A lot of people, in fact, after doing our kitchen project, people wanted to know, could we have some of the leftover pieces as we dug up our old, I guess you'd call it granite marble hallway floor.
Mm-hmm.
There's little chunks now. A lot of people like to make mosaics out of mismatched, whether it's plates or flooring or tile, and make it, a piece of art. Maybe it's a tray cover or something. But,
nice idea.
But here's the idea.
Yeah.
You use some of this tile scrap material to label your plants. So now you have a little thing that says parsley or celery or cilantro, whatever the heck it is, and you just kind of poke that baby in there. I think it's cute.
That's actually a
And
cute
you can
idea.
write
yeah,
on it.
and you can use a Sharpie or you can use a wax pencil. That would stick to the ceramic tile as well.
It's a
That's
sweet
great.
idea.
Great idea. Yeah.
While we're talking about gardening, do you have an outdoor shed at your house?
Yes, I do.
Place?
I do.
Is it needing some TLC?
It needs every possible amount of attention it can get. Yeah, you bet.
Well, we want to hide our tools, right, in a nice little place that gives us that extra storage so we don't feel like there's stuff everywhere. How about building a cabinet that kind of gives us that outdoor but built-in look?
Yeah.
What would you suggest?
Well, you could do a traditional frame, and then what's great about doing something like that, where you're creating like essentially a box. You affix that box to the side of your home, and then what makes it unique is to create doors that have, cool little details in them. For example, you could cut a little pine tree outline in the doors with a jigsaw to just give it that country.
With a stencil, maybe?
The country kitschy feel, you know what I mean?
Cute.
And then you have a great space to just store your rakes and your shovels and all the things that you don't necessarily want to see all the time.
And then paint it a fun color, or maybe even give it a washed look,
That's
right?
it,
Kind of
yeah.
an antique-y look.
Antique it. That's
and
it.
you could do this, maybe in less than a week. And
I
that'd
would
be a fun.
that would be a day of I would say a day and a half. You'd get a half day to round the materials up, and then it would probably take you about 2 half days.
Or like
to
my
finish it.
husband, he says, go run some errands, and then he does it, and I come back, he goes, it took an hour.
Well, better still, you want to hear a great story?
Sure.
I used to live up in Topanga Canyon, right? And the neighbor was an ER doctor, and she was always working very, very long hours. And her husband was a guy that was a writer, but he would spend a lot of his time not doing a whole lot.
Uh-oh.
And as soon as she would come home around 3:00 at 2:59, he would come out and start sweeping the driveway,
no.
and then she'd say, "Hi, honey," and then she'd pull in. "How was your day?"
So
"Oh,
it looks like he's
expensive."
always working. Nice.
It's fantastic.
Organization in the form of those little wallpaper cubbies. That's kind of a cool thing. It's not only giving you more space, but by sectioning it off. But I like the idea of using wallpaper in different colors or different, like the same color. Imagine yellow and white, but
Sure.
small pattern, large pattern, and then it creates a
So
like
in
tiling.
a box or a wall of shelves, cubby shelves.
In little boxes,
The backs of them would
The
have
backs of them.
individual wallpaper.
Yeah, some could be just painted one color, but then others could have the wallpaper, and now you're accenting them to either show off a set of plates, a collection, or maybe a set of books, or
And you know what I like
supplies.
about that too? It's the same. It's kind of the same idea. Where, by the way, I keep breaking chairs when I sit down. Like, I was on this vacation. We were in Hawaii. I broke 2 chairs in the rental house, and then just last night, I sat down in my dining room chair, and it literally collapsed on me. I'm getting a complex.
Oh, no, and you're so thin. Come on now.
I don't know. It must be the forceful way I sit. But to my
no.
point,
The chairs are crying out.
I like when they mix and match chairs at a dining room table.
Yes.
So this is my excuse to do that because I broke the set.
So you can use that same philosophy and mix
In
and
the
match
cubbies.
wallpaper
Exactly.
cubbies, and I love how then you could just use some Mod Podge decoupage glue, then
Yep.
I guess, to get that on there.
put
kind
that
of a
on
fun,
the back, cut it into
a nice
into
little
the
project.
slice.
See,
You
we
bet.
want to come up with some things that are doable, so that you don't feel like you're waiting for for the next budget to come about. You want to be able to do something every month. Now, what about spicing up the staircase? I haven't ever tried this, but I've seen it done where the railing and then the actual pillars, the balusters, are painted like in a series of colors, like an all one tone, blue, green, lime green, almost to yellow. What do you think? Is that kind of funky?
There's so much great creative use with color that can alter and change these traditional elements to a house. For example, like you said, the staircase. That's a great idea. You can gradiate color all the way up the
like
stairs.
a little rainbow. Very pretty.
It's really pretty. It's
It
a
almost
great thing.
it looks
even the risers on the staircase. I've done a lot where I'll put tile on the risers, or I'll paint each riser a different color. It just gives a visual appeal and something that you're not expecting.
I've seen also a lot of this at the Pasadena Showcase House on those risers of the stairs, not only painting that back part, but then maybe putting a message like believe, or the name of your family, like welcome, and then the next stair, to the Stromer household.
Oh, that's cute.
You know what I mean?
That's
and so
really
as
cool.
the steps, as you walk further and further up, there's a nice little message. It's kind of a neat way to spice it up.
Right.
But that kind of paint, would you say we wouldn't want to spray paint?
No, we would use again, because generally those are clear coated traditional wood, so you'd want to put primer over those as well, and then go ahead and hand paint those on. That's the easiest way to do it.
Well, we're going to put all these on the website, and we have many more in the next couple of weeks. We'll talk about more great years worth of projects and ideas to kind of feel like there's some hope out there. You don't have to have a ton of money to do these things. You can do it quickly and inexpensively and feel like you've had a nice little spruce up.
And one of these little projects a weekend can translate to 52 projects.
Exactly.
And that's all it takes.
So just go to the website, yourhomewizards.com. Be sure to check out the new Cindy Kitchen video, by the way. If you go to cindykitchenproject.com, you'll see not only the measuring and the buffing of our Corian countertops, but wait till you see there's a funny little moment in the video that will remind you of a certain movie. When I'm there at the fabrication plant and we're buffing the Corian. Okay, I'll say it. The scene from Ghost. That's all I'm going to say.
Scene.
But it's a fun video.
So the fabricator had no shirt and he was sitting behind you and buffing.
No, it wasn't quite like that.
Oh.
It was G-rated, but it's very fun to see how they install the countertops, and you see the lights that go in and the appliances, and then the next is the final reveal. So it's coming up.
I cannot wait. Yourhomewizards.com.
Go to yourhomewizards.com and then cindykitchenproject.com. So
perfect.
That's it for now. Until next Saturday, have a great week. Check us out online. Follow us on Facebook. And until next time, the key's under the mat. Bye-bye.
Wanna be with when the sun goes down.